This episode of Now This Is Lit is brought to you by Audible. Check the link in the description to get your first Star Wars audiobook free. Everyone loves free things. Click that link. Do it. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Now This Is Lit, a podcast about Star Wars books, the people who make them, and the readers who just can't get enough of them. I'm your host, Meg Dowell. I use she, her pronouns. And a few weeks ago, as this episode is airing, was Star Wars Celebration. And within the many panels and things that happened at Star Wars Celebration was an entire panel dedicated to the High Republic, and a lot of information came out of this panel. Everything from Vernestra Rwoh is going to be in The Acolyte, like as an actual live-action character, to so many books are yet to come in the High Republic. I mean, we knew there would be a third phase, but this third phase, there's a lot happening. And I was grocery shopping because of the time difference, because the convention took place in London, and I don't live there. So as all this information was coming out on Twitter, which is where I was following it, so thank you to everyone who was live tweeting the panel for us. That was much appreciated. I was grocery shopping and trying to keep up with everything that was happening, and it was too much. I learned things just as I was putting my notes together to record this episode that I did not know because I missed them because so much was happening. So I figured I would give you a rundown this week and just take a week, do a little bit more chill of an episode, and not have a script, just notes, which is, I know, everyone's favorite style of podcasting that I do. And we're going to talk about what's to come in the High Republic. I know this information might be super helpful to you, and you've been looking for a very simple layout of what all of it is. So guess where I'm going to put that? In my newsletter. It should be there now. If it's not, it will be soon. There's a lot to do, and sometimes things just take longer than I'd like them to, but the plan is that all this information that I'm about to go over now will be in written form for your future reference or your current reference. If you want to go there now, it will be there. The link to the newsletter is always in the show notes, so you can always go there and look at what I've posted recently, and hopefully the rundown of everything we know about the High Republic Phase 3, or just in general, everything we know about the High Republic in the next 2 years from this point. It'll all be there, and we're going to talk about it now because I'm excited, and I hope you're excited too. The High Republic is here. It's been here, and it's going to continue to be here. I can't believe we have now learned the High Republic started in 2021. It was supposed to start earlier than that, and because of reasons, it got delayed to 2021. By the time the High Republic reaches the end of Phase 3, assuming no more big delays, it will have been going for over 4 years. That is a long time. We haven't had a publishing initiative in Star Wars quite to this scale ever. There were series, and there were other things where books were published along with shows and other things like that. There's a name for what that's called, and it's not coming to me at the moment, and that's why I usually have a script, and I don't right now, and it's multimedia something. But we have not quite had a Star Wars publishing initiative like this one, where there are books, there are adult novels, YA, middle grade books, reference books. Oh, I love the reference books. They're so good. There's more coming. That I'm not even going to talk about today, but it's all happening. And there are audio dramas, manga, comics, and now The Acolyte is going to be a show that will feature at least one High Republic character that we know of. That is really cool. That is really cool that the High Republic started out as Project Luminous, as this thing that we knew it was going to be books and comics, and it has become something that's truly amazing. And I know that I talk about it all the time and have nothing but good things to say about it because it's true. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't talk about it. That is my general rule with all Star Wars things, is that I'm here to be joyful and spread the joy. And if there's something I don't like, we we just let it go. But I am doing a podcast all about Star Wars books because I genuinely love all of them. I think there is something to love about every Star Wars story that comes out, and in book form, which is my favorite form of storytelling because I've been a reader since I could read. It's just, we're here to celebrate them, and that's why we're here. And it's okay if you don't like the High Republic. If you don't want to listen to an entire episode of me talking about it and saying nice things about it, you can skip this one. Next week is the Battle Scars. Full spoiler discussion, so you can come back for that if you want. Alden Diaz is on the way. We already recorded it, but he's coming onto the show. You'll hear him next week, so you can come back for that if you want to. And the rest of this episode will be me continuing to talk about how amazing the High Republic is. And I'm glad that if you're still here, you're along for the ride with me. So let's talk about what's actually happening. I'm going to go through and clarify what the timeline is, every single book, who's writing it, what kind of book it is. This is blowing my mind right now that there's these notes. There's so many of them. So we'll start with the things that we already know about. And I'm trying to go in order here because timelines, they're very important. Speaking of, there's this book called Timelines, Star Wars Timelines, that I just got in the mail today. Thank you, DK, for sending that to me a little bit early so I can try not to get my tears all over it because it smells. It has that like new book smell. You know, I cried. I've already cried over it one time, and I just opened to the cover page so I could make sure I had all the author names in my tweet that I tweeted about it. I'm going to cry so much more about it. I cannot wait. And I will be talking about that book in some capacity at some point. It comes out, oh my God, next week. So now that I've thought about timelines again for like the 6th time today, don't forget to pre-order that. You're really going to want to. It's a big book. It is beautiful. You're going to want it on your shelf. You're going to want to flip through it. You're going to want to just tell the authors how amazing all of them are. Anyway, back to the High Republic. I mean, to be fair, the book does touch on the High Republic, but listen, we really got to get going because I have to edit this. So we'll start with what we know so far, or what we know that's already coming out. This is not new information. Path of Vengeance by Cavan Scott is a YA novel. It is the next novel in Phase 2. It is not actually technically the end of Phase 2, and we will get to that. That is coming out May 2nd. So you have 2 weeks. Oh, I'm running out of time. 2 weeks until that book comes out. I will hopefully have a spoiler-free review of that book on May 2nd. Not on May 2nd. Yes, on May 2nd. On the day that it comes out for you. Quick programming note. I should have said this at the top of the show, but everything that's going to come out on this feed that you're listening to now in the next 3-4 weeks will be pre-recorded. I'm going on a trip. That is all I will say about that. Very excited, but I will not be around. Everything will be scheduled ahead of time. So if news drops that's like book related or that's relevant to what I am talking about in an episode and I don't mention it, that's why. I am taking a little bit of a break. Nothing will be different for you. Never would have known if I wouldn't have mentioned it, but just in case. So that's a thing. So Battle Scars, reviewing this book, many other things that I cannot talk about yet, mostly because they haven't happened and you don't want to jinx things before they happen. So just so you're aware. So Path of Vengeance. Next High Republic book comes out May 2nd. If you haven't pre-ordered that, do that. I haven't read it yet, fun fact, but we'll be doing that very soon because you gotta. Well, many of you actually already have it. I shouldn't say many. Some of you already have it. You may have gotten it at Celebration. We also have what's coming next. So we get a little bit of a High Republic break after May 2nd. Nothing else High Republic related, like specifically, comes out until September 7th. And that's when I always say this title wrong, so I'm going to make sure I have it correct. Tales of Light and Life. That is a short story collection. That's all High Republic stories across different phases. Multiple authors all contributing to that. It's a short story anthology, so coming out in September. Actually, the same day as, from a certain point of view, Return of the Jedi, which is very exciting. 2 very exciting short story anthologies coming out the same day. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to lose my mind. And a note on that, because I know some of you care, and by some of you, I mean definitely me. Unlike the majority of Barnes & Noble exclusives that come out for Star Wars books, the being an exclusive that comes out for Tales of Light and Life is a different cover than the just general one. So if you care about that, you're actually going to want to pre-order this one. I sometimes, quite often actually, skip the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions because the covers are the same, and I get the different covers for display reasons, and if it's the same cover, it's often not always worth it. Sometimes the posters are cool, but it's another like $20-something. So this one might be worth it though. The most exciting thing that we learned at the beginning of this panel is that the High Republic Phase 3 is coming, in fact, this fall of 2023. But before we get the first book in Phase 3 of the High Republic, which is very, very exciting, we're getting something else. And this is a yet to be announced, yet to be clarified project called The Night of Sorrow. And that's releasing in October. So the month before Phase 3 technically starts. This is supposedly the actual end to Phase 2. We don't know anything about this project other than its name and around when it's releasing. We will likely get that information in July at San Diego Comic-Con. So we don't know if this is another book. We don't know exactly what it is. We just know the title, in that everything will conclude for the phase in this. My prediction is that it's an audio drama. It would make sense to kind of finish everything off in that way. The only reason it would make sense to not have it be an audio drama is that we just got one already this year. We got one in January. So the timing between those two things would be very fast. But it wouldn't be the first time that we got an audio drama announcement like fairly close to when it actually came out. So Dr. Aphra was announced not too long before July when it was released that year, for reasons, and there are always reasons, and we're not always going to know what those are because, sometimes as fans and not people who actually work on things, we don't need to know everything. It's fun to speculate, and that's my prediction. I don't know. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I'm sure it will be great. I said I was going to go and order it, and I definitely did not because I forgot that the next manga in the Edge of Balance series comes out May 23rd of this year. That's very exciting. I just pre-ordered it when I was putting these notes together because I was like, oh no, I need this because I am a collector and I need all of the things in the series. It looks very cool. You should look up the cover. It'll probably be in the newsletter post that I do about this. So that's coming. That's Daniel Jose Older is doing that one, and Tomio Ogata. So that's fun. I lied. I'm sorry. It's Path of Vengeance, and then Edge of Balance, and then there's a break. I'm sorry that I was incorrect. It was in my notes, and I just skipped over it. See? Your girl needs a script. I should not be podcasting this way. This is giving me too much freedom. But if you like it, let me know and I'll keep doing it. Also, Alyssa Wong, who is probably best known in Star Wars for her Dr. Aphra comics, which are amazing, and I'm behind. You already know this. If you listen to the show, you know where I'm at with comics. We're working on it. So she's joining the Luminous authors, which is I love when new people join the team. It's so fun. Lydia Kang and Tessa Gratton both jumped in. Oh, George Mann too. George Mann, all of them jumped in for Phase 2, and now we're getting somebody else new. So Alyssa Wong officially joins the Luminous authors win with the short story that will be in the Tales of Light and Life anthology. And she'll also have something else that I will detail more in the very long list that I'm about to detail for you. There are bullet points. We love bullet points. So let's do it. So we have the mystery project, I'll call it, in October, and then phase 3 officially begins. Authors are kind of playing with writing for different audiences here, which is really, really fun. Sometimes you write middle grade or you write YA, and you like staying in the realm that makes you comfortable. But sometimes authors don't do that, and that's the case with George Mann, who has mostly done middle grade who's not done an adult novel in Star Wars before. That all changes now, or at least it will on November 14th with The Eye of Darkness, which will kick off phase 3. That's very exciting. Happy to see George Mann back and doing something different. He did the audio drama in the last most recent wave of phase 2, and now he's doing an adult novel. I love the adult novels, but as I like to say, the other novels count too, so let's talk about those. And by the way, I am actually going in order of timeline this time because that's how we organized it, because that's the only way I was going to stay sane while trying to figure all of this out. There are photos, but I like it being organized by timeline. See, it does help. So Escape from Velo is by Daniel Jose Older and Alyssa Wong. This is her first contribution to the High Republic. And that's a middle grade novel that comes out on January 30th, 2024. Next is Defy the Storm. That's Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland, who are teaming up again. I love when they work together. It is so fun. Their solo stuff is great. But sometimes when authors come together and collaborate, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We saw that in Path of Deceit, and now we'll see it again in Defy the Storm. I just hit my desk when I did that. I did not mean to. This is a YA novel, and it comes out on March 12th, 2024. And that ends when the actual release dates that we have. We have release windows from this point forward, because March 12th is a very long way away, March 12th, 2024. So from here on out, it's just more general. This might be around when it comes out. Next is possibly the most terrifying book title we've gotten in the High Republic so far, which is Beware the Nameless. Don't worry, I already am. Zoraida Cordova is back. This is another middle grade novel, and it was coming. This is another middle grade novel, and it's coming summer 2024. We're getting High Republic in the summer. Man, that's really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Ever thought about how far away dates are, and you're like, summer 2024, I don't even know where I'm going to be then. Hopefully, many parts of my life will be the same. Temptation of the Force by Tessa Gratton. An adult novel. Look at Tessa Gratton doing an adult novel in Star Wars. That's also summer 2024. Remember, the summer is a very long time, so it could be like June and August. There could be still a major gap. I didn't actually talk about this yet, which is the biggest difference between phase 3 and the first 2 phases of the High Republic is everything is a lot more spread out. And I think that will keep a lot of us much more sane, especially those of us who have to review, especially those of us who are reviewing these books, because usually how it works is the middle grade and YA books have come out around the same time, or the middle grade and adult, depending on what it is. And that's a lot. 2 books coming out sometimes on the same day is a little bit overwhelming. So we're not going to do that anymore, says those in charge of the High Republic and when it comes out. So hooray for that. In fall 2024, we have Tears of the Nameless. George Mann is back with another YA novel. So that's The Nameless. We've talked about them before on the show. We'll talk about them again. Everything is terrible, but it seems like by the end of phase 3, maybe it will not be quite as terrible anymore. I'm basing that completely on titles, but they say don't judge a book by its cover, but no one ever said anything about its title, okay? A Valiant Vow by Justina Ireland is another middle grade novel, and that comes to us in spring 2025. Spring 2025 for the High Republic is going to be quite busy, as it seems, because we also have Trials of the Jedi by Charles Soule, which is the adult novel that will close out Phase 3, also in spring 2025, and then possibly my favorite title in the High Republic, or at least in terms of like reflecting on other titles. Claudia Gray is back with another YA novel called Into the Light. So we got out of the dark, now we're back into the light. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? Hopefully not too many more characters will die before we get back into the light. Everyone is gonna be gone, except for Vanessa, apparently. That is a lot of books, but we're going to love reading every single one, even if they make us cry, which they probably will, because this is the High Republic. We know how it works by now. Also, there's going to be more Star Wars Insider fiction, as there has been before. There's a whole little anthology of all the High Republic ones that's come out. There'll probably be another one, because Chronicles from the Occlusion Zone. This is Lydia Kang is contributing some serialized fiction, so that's fun. From what I've seen from Lydia Kang so far, this is going to be fantastic. More on that later. Also, if you're wondering, where's Kevin Scott in Phase 3 of the High Republic? Don't worry, he's back writing more comics. The High Republic comic for Phase 3 kicks off December 2023. I know I said I'm going to go in order of timeline, but like that was books. Now we're making sure we give comics all the love they deserve, and you really need to catch up on them. It's fine. So based on all of this, that was a lot, wasn't it? I hope I didn't go too fast. I talk very fast, I've been told. In the next 2 years, not including like an unannounced reference books and other kinds of stories, we're getting at least 12. A dozen new High Republic books over the next 24 months. I had to remind myself how many months are in a year, because time has no meaning to me anymore. And again, that's not including like comics and manga and other things that are coming but we don't know about them yet. That's a lot. I don't know how I'm going to fit all that on my shelves. My High Republic shelf is already stuffed almost to capacity. It's fine. This is what we signed up for, essentially. We said we're going to follow the High Republic from beginning to its eventual end, and we're doing that, and there's still a whole other phase. There's still a lot of books to come. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to see how the story ends. And the High Republic has gotten better and better as it's gone on. All of it has been fantastic, but the way it's been organized, the way it's been promoted, everything has just become, they're really getting into a rhythm. They really have been experimenting with how to handle a publishing initiative like this, and it just continues to improve with every phase. And I'm so excited to see what comes out of Phase 3 and how many more times I cry. If you liked this little breakdown of everything that's coming in the High Republic, let me know that you liked it, and I will try to do more of these types of episodes. I like to keep you informed. I like to, with things like this, I try to like stick to the more like informative, like breaking down everything that's happening in my newsletter. But I really needed a more chill episode to release this week. There's a lot of good stuff coming, but there's also a lot currently happening in my life. So there you have it. The High Republic is here to stay. It will be around for quite some time still. So I'm glad that you're all on this journey with me, and I look forward to bringing you more reviews and interviews and all the things. Like I said earlier, next week, come back. It's our Battle Scars discussion, and it's going to be great because that is a great book. I decided to release it the week that Jedi Survivor comes out. That was not my idea. My husband is smarter than me and suggested that, so that's how we're doing it. And I will keep you updated on the timeline of how things are going to get released in the next month or so. Thank you, as always, for listening, especially in these episodes when I ramble a little bit more. I love making the show. I never want to stop making the show. I do have to remember to give myself breaks, though. We don't want an unplanned hiatus like we had last year. It is truly a delight and a privilege that I get to do this. I do this for free, as most podcasters do, but it's worth it. It is the work that I enjoy doing the most, and I hope that I get to keep doing it. I have a lot of exciting plans for episodes that are coming out this summer and beyond, and I hope that you'll stick with me, because it took me a long time to start this show, and I have no regrets, and I want to keep doing it for as long as I can, for as long as you'll keep listening. So thank you for being here. It means the world to me. I know I don't say it enough, but you all listening are the reason that the show keeps happening. I do it because I love it, but you just remind me that I'm not just talking into a microphone. My words actually are helping more people discover these books and fall in love with these books and rediscover books they may have read a long time ago. It matters. Everything that we're doing here matters, and that is beautiful to me. So yeah, I'm really glad that you're here. You matter to me, even though I don't know most of you. On that note, go read some High Republic, or go pre-order some books. Use bookshop.org. Use our affiliate links because that would just make me so happy. Now This Is Lit is part of the Faraway Fandom Network and is written, produced, hosted, and edited by me. Jose Jimenez designed our podcast art. Keep up with the show on Twitter at Star Wars Lit Pod, and find the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to support the show, click the link in the description to start your free Audible trial. I get a little bit of money from that if you do that, and that is something I will never complain about. You can also subscribe to our newsletter. It is free. Supporting the show sometimes just means liking posts or sharing things, retweeting my tweets about it. It matters. It really does. I know that Twitter is falling apart, but for now, that's all we got. We're all still hanging on. So continue to hang on with me. For more book reviews and Star Wars Book Celebration, follow Star Wars Book Reviews on Instagram.